I think most of you watching my videos, most of the highest percentage of my audience, I think it's mainly composed of those who are trying to make something, those who are trying to create an impact, those who are doing something and are looking for inspiration and like trying to relate with one person, those who have goals, those who have plans to do something, and those who are going through dark moments in their lives and they're looking like for someone to inspire them, those who are trying like to relate to someone with similar realities as they face, and so on and so on and so on. I think most of my videos are mainly aimed at inspiring those who are out there, like trying to do something or creating something or wanting to restart something or going through that moment and so on. Like videos I would like to watch and videos people would like to watch if you are going through that part. So I thought today as wise like to share my own 2 points on how I do to avoid burnouts and to avoid stopping or falling back to my original position. You know, as I always say, we live in a world that try to tell us like you need to go on and work. You need to go on and work. You need to make your checklist out. You need to fill everything and you need to every day you get up, you need to try to accomplish everything you set on your to-do list and so on. And that is actually right. And I agree with that, that you need to like work hard. You know what it's all about in this page. I will talk about trying to work hard, trying to work different, trying to work smart, trying to inspire you, trying to get the genius out of you, like to make you be the real version of yourself, the best version of yourself. So I agree with all that. But the problem is like you need to like try to make a link between your to-do list, your daily routine, and your realities. Like most people are saying like I experience burnout. Like there are two things that can cause burnout. And that goes from my own personal view and throughout the times I experienced burnout and so on. It's either you're having a to-do list that does not stick with your reality and you don't accomplish what you said you were going to do on your to-do list, and that causes you burnout because like you feel so unmotivated, you feel tired, and you start asking yourself if you're a negative type of person, if you can't like realize something small like just to obey your to-do list. For example, if you're living at, I'm saying like your to-do list does not matches with your realities. For example, if you're living at 2 kilometers to the gym and maybe at 1 kilometer to your school, and after on your to-do list you say like I'm going to get up every morning, I go to the gym, that is 2 kilometers already every morning. That is what you wrote on your to-do list, that every morning you're going to the gym 2 kilometers far from your home. And after that you're coming back home to maybe get dressed and prepare and everything. Then before you go in for 1 kilometer to your school, that is fine. That is great. That's a great goal. If you're doing that, if you can achieve that, that is wonderful. But the problem with that is like there's a lot of friction in your plan because getting up and moving 2 kilometers to the gym and 1 kilometers back and 2 kilometers back home before moving 1 kilometers to school, that's 5 kilometers you need to do every day. At the start of that, you're going to feel so motivated to do that because that rhymes with your goals. But at the long run, are you going to stick with that? Some people can stick with that, but are you really going to stick with that? For example, instead of doing that, if you just say, like, okay, I get up in the morning, I prepare everything, and I go to school, I go to the gym, and after the gym, I'm going directly to school because most of the gyms you can have shower there. After the gym, I'm going directly to school. Or you can instead say like, okay, I go to school in the morning and after school, when coming back, I pass through my gym, and after my gym, I'm coming back home directly. You see, it's the same way of doing the thing, but it's just less frictional because you don't have the 5 kilometers that barrier that's going to maybe prevent you from acting actually on that dream. So, like, before you make a to-do list, I'm not saying trying to ask you to be realistic, because I'm one of the most unrealistic people you can meet, because for me it's always when everything comes in your mind is something that you can do. But I'm just trying you to look at your reality and look at your to-do list. Try to make a relationship between what you want to do and what you're going through daily, and what is your routine and what are your obligations that you need to do. Because once you set goals for yourself, there are two things involved. You can either achieve your goals and that boosts your motivation, and that gives you more strength to do it, or you can not do it, and that gets negative reward feedback, because then you feel unmotivated. That acts on your energy, you feel weak. That acts on your mindset, you feel like so weak mentally. And at the end of the day, you can even stop doing everything and you stop making the progress, even the little progress you can make. So goals have two things, like your goals can either work for you or your goals can work against you, but it depends just on how you view it, on how you see it. My own personal opinions and so on, like, at the beginning of, I'm very very flexible, because I'm not like I'll set goals for myself, and because I said throughout at the beginning of the month that I'm going to do this. When I face obstacles that I know is becoming so frictional for myself, I'm going to stick with this because I said I was going to do this. I'm going to keep doing it, and then after maybe experience burnout. Like I said to myself that I was going to go, like, my morning routine, my prayer, gratitude list, and skills to learn. I have two skills that I'm learning actually, and I have a new language that I'm trying to learn, and or the other skill I want is that's a bit personal. And for personal development, I have like to read. I need to read quotes. Then I needed to write words. Then after that, I had to post like a Twitter trend, Facebook trend, and Instagram trend. Then I record a video, posting a video. Then I go to sports. After that, I can go to school. Then after, I talk about the business and relation. So that's my to-do list for the month. But throughout the month, I discovered like I was doing so many of those things, but there are some of the things that was causing a lot of friction. For example, like when I get up in the morning, I need to read for my exams and I need to read a book and so on. Then I need to write the trends that I need to post and so on. So I discovered like that was creating more friction, because I had two things that were in contradictory to one another, like reading books and studying for my exam. So what I just decided is that, like, okay, every morning I'm going to focus mainly on studying on my exams, and if there's free time throughout my day, I can go like read books, because I'm saying like, what is my priority now? My priority is to get rid of going to school and so on. And the only way of getting rid of that is by finishing with the school, finishing with the studies, because I'm in a situation where I must obtain, like, finish what I started with stories and so on. So that is my priority now, trying to finish with those stories. And what also makes less frictional is like recording this video, talking to you the way I'm doing, and posting the video. So okay, I say yes. The first two part, like read, writing codes, Twitter trend, Instagram, and so on, I'm going to put that aside first. And it's not like stopping that. I know maybe people will say like, now you is that you're not working hard. You're saying that, because you want to reduce the work, you want it to be easy, you're looking for a safe path. No, 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 don't get me wrong. It's not all about like trying to look for a safe path or trying to, it's just that I'm trying to face my realities the way they come. I'm trying to look at the things I have at hand, and I don't want to experience burnout. I'm trying as much as possible to keep going, even if it's one step at a time. Because if I keep all these goals and every day I write them down and I don't accomplish them, that's going to make me weak, and I may experience burnout and even abandon. So I'm trying to make it less frictional as much as possible. So one thing I do is like I get up in the morning, I try to do the other ones. Now I'm just doing video recording, posting, sports, school, video recording, posting sports code, and learning the two skills. That seems simple, but I bet with you that's not simple to do throughout the day. Like, to record a video, you need to find the idea, you need to reflect on that, you need to go in and make researches and so on. To go to the gym and to go to school, you need to study also for that. So, as I was saying, just try to make your goals in relationship with your reality, with the things you're going through. Don't get what these people, I'm not saying like you should not listen to them. You can listen to them, but at the end, make your own conclusion. Like, is my to-do list in relationship with what I'm going through daily? And if that's not the case, try to make it as close as possible. And the second thing is like reduce all the frictions that exist. Try to reduce it. You can't like cancel all the friction that exists, but try to make it less frictional as much as possible, so that you feel so authentic and you feel like so natural doing the things that you want to do. And the other thing I'll be talking about like is making a to-do list on things that you really don't like doing and not really like doing, because I know most of the thing, if you want to achieve great things, you need to be able to do some things that you don't like doing in order to achieve the things you want. But I'm talking about things that are contradictory to your virtues and things that you don't support. For example, if you put on your to-do list, I'm not a movie type of person, and you put on your to-do list that every day you're going to watch 2 hours movie, and every day you know you don't like watching movies, instead of watching movies you like listening to videos, to podcasts and so on. Yeah, that's also but that's not a movie. You like listening to podcasts and you keep saying to your putting on your to-do list that I'm going to watch movies every day. Are you seeing there's a contradiction between what you want to do and what you've written down? So the moment you don't do that, you're going to feel a lot of weak, you're going to feel burnout, and you're going to think like it makes no sense to continue. When I started creating content, my first content was like I was doing like posting shots on Instagram. I was doing posting shots on Twitch, TikToks, and so on. And I was posting shots on YouTube, and I was making long form of video. The problem is that with that is that in order to post videos on TikTok and all the others one, I needed to make long form of videos, cut them, and then post them. But now I had a problem with my laptop because it doesn't like sustain the applications and everything that I need to use for those videos. So I found out like every day I would say like I need to post this video, this short and so on. Whenever I don't post that, because maybe the problem is not mine, I recorded the video but there was no way like to edit the video to post and so on. Whenever I did not post that, I felt so weak, and that caused me at time to even stop the journey, to stop everything I was doing, because I was feeling like I'm not taking this thing serious. I'm not trying like to build a consistency. I'm not posting and so on. But that was just because I had a lot of friction between what I was doing and what I was actually going through. But after I said to myself, okay, what is like preventing me from posting and from moving on, I discovered that that was my laptop and so on. So I said, okay, from today, so like find myself one, I'm going to stop everything that concern like editing or trying to make shots and everything, like using these apps and so on. I'm going to just go natural. I do the things the way I can do, and that is now like just recording my long form videos and posting the videos, trying to create more impacts as I can, as much as more impact as I can. And since I started doing that, I feel now like it's so authentic, spontaneous, and natural. And when I'm doing what I feel so spontaneous, authentic, and natural, I feel so energetic, because I can record as like maybe 5 videos a day. When I'm just recording videos, when I'm feeling just as to record, I can record like 5 videos a day, and I have different video ideas. So it's all about thinking about what makes this part so frictional. What is preventing me from doing this? Why am I experiencing burnout? At times, most of the burnouts that we have is just more of mental burnout than physical burnout. If you're doing something that you love and you're making a lot of friction in it, that may cause you burnout. If you're doing something that you don't love and something that is contradictory with your virtues, that can also cause you burnout. If you're doing something that is not in close relationship with your reality, with the things you're going through daily, that can also cause burnout. So the question is like, how do you handle all that? How do you handle everything and to avoid burnouts throughout your journey, throughout your work routine, throughout what you're trying to build and so on? I think the answer is simple. You go down, you sit, ask yourself, like, what is the cause of my burnout? Why is the cause of my feeling? What is the cause of me not doing the things I said to do? And then the answer you're going to find, most of the answers you're going to find is because of the frictions you put on the things and so on and so forth. But you go down first, try to acknowledge what you're trying, what is the cause of everything. And the second thing you can even do better, like, is try to reduce everything. Make your journey as simple as possible. I don't know whatever the journey is for you. Maybe you're trying to become, to learn, to better your communication skills. Then maybe the friction, to reduce the friction, can be just say, okay, I'm going to read maybe just 5 minutes a day. I'm going to read as much as I'm free, but don't say to yourself, I'm going to read like 2 hours every day sitting. Yeah, I know, I appreciate that. I always say like work harder and so on, but try to make it as less frictional as possible, and try to make it in relationship with your virtues. Don't try to work against your will, against your spirit, and so on. Try to make a close relationship like between what you're doing daily. That is like stacking your habits together. Like if you're going to the gym, after the gym, okay, you're saying I'm going to take fresh air and so on. That is, you're stacking your gym and taking your fresh air together. So after the gym, when you're walking home, you're already taking fresh air together. So that is stacking your habits also together. You're trying to make it less frictional and make it more easy as possible. When you're doing that, you feel so spontaneous, and that also help you to avoid burnout. Because as I was saying, like, you will not like to experience that part of being burnout. Like, it's a moment in your life, like when I was experiencing it, you just feel like you are a complete failure. You just feel like there is nothing that is ever going to work. That just gives you it makes you start to think like it makes no sense to even keep pursuing this goal, to even keep trying what you're doing, to even keep like, even if you want to start to even begin. So that is not a part you would like to do. But if you are in this journey, you need to be proud, and you need to say, honestly saying, you need to accept that at times you're going to feel the burnout. Despite what I'm doing, despite how hard I'm trying to like prevent it and so on, I need to be realistic that like at times it's going to come. At times you're going to feel it, but that is okay. That's fine. If you happens to feel it, if you're going through the burnout moment now, that's fine. Don't kill yourself because you're going through that. But just try as much as possible not to stay in that moment for long. Just try as much as possible to get rid of that, to get out of that, and to keep doing it. And at times, the best way of doing that is trying to acknowledge why you went into that moment, why you are in that moment, and trying to provide personal solution. There's not like a global solution for a problem. No, each person faces problems differently, and each person knows, like, have different realities. Each person have different things they're fighting, their personal battles and so on. So the best solution you can get is the one you sit down and you conclude and you say, okay, yes, maybe mine was because I had a lot of friction over my journey and I had to reduce the friction. Maybe yours is same, and maybe yours is other. Like maybe you're not even like, you don't even want to do what you're doing, you're being forced to do that. And maybe at times you just need to say, okay, if I have no choice, if I'm being forced to do this, then let me just love the journey. Just try like to say, okay, what can I even benefit from this? Look at one thing that you appreciate and you keep, that will keep you going and also prevent you from experiencing burnout. So I never wanted to be long with this video, but I found like it's so real, it's so something so real. And most of the reason that most people stop, that most people quit their dreams, that most people don't even go to the end, is because of this burnout issue. So I'm thinking like, it's good of spending more time to discuss my own personal difficulties, my own personal obstacles that may be of help to you. Like, I don't know how you can see it that. I don't know how you can make a summary of what I'm saying, but the aim is that at the end of the video, when you watch, it should impact you and should help you like to get rid of that situation in your own life and to help you continue your journey, maybe start something, keep growing, and so on and so forth. So that was it. So it's real burnout, but you need to sit down and acknowledge like what brought you to that level. Try to make it as much as possible a way to get out of it. Love you. I care about your journey. Keep dreaming, keep walking, stay consistent, try as much as possible to prevent burnout. But when it comes, don't just stay so much long in it. Know it's real. It can happen. But why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Love you. Meet you in the next video.